Otherwise, you want to do step by step whatever I'm doing. Okay, steps कुछ miss हो गया तो गड़बड़ हो जाएगी. Okay, let's move. Excuse me. What I'll do here is I'll remove this I validation object. I'll remove this implementation. So we are back to square one now. Self-validation models are gone, right? Self-validation models are gone. Now we are going to do the validation at the next level, which is your, okay, so validation at where? चले आगे. I just removed it. No validations now. Everything is clean and crisp. I'll move if you all permit. Now I'll get into the infrastructure and I'll copy the validations for you. Okay, so I want to write my own validations. So I'm writing a custom validators. I'll do one thing. I'll create a new class. We'll create a new class. Okay, the name of the class, help me. I'll call it as DAC value provider. Right? I'll call it as DAC value provider. So that's what is there in the infrastructure. DAC value providers. I'll start. Yeah, I'll just take from the previous class examples. One, I want a property value provider. This is hurting. Okay. One, I'll just create one class called property value provider. Just see this. So for appointment, I'm creating a property value provider, which actually extends model validator. Okay, gentlemen, so we are just looking at this MVC. Right, guys? So model, but this is the one I'm actually trying to use. Now let us have a constructor. Not this, for the other one. Sorry. Implement abstract class. And there is a constructor required. There it actually troubled me. Excuse me. Now, there is a model validator. It's telling the base class has a constructor which requires these things to be passed. I have to pass the model metadata and controller context. There are two things what I'm supposed to pass. I'll take the help from here for the constructor. Just see the two parameters. What we want is a model metadata and the controller context. We get this and send it to the base class. Okay? Hello? Okay. And here, if you see, I want to return an empty model validation result. Okay, so if you're expecting IEnumerable, there's an empty IEnumerable which I can send if you don't have anything. That's all. Rest are in our control now. I just created one property validator and I want one model validator which does the same job for you. See, there is a method called validate in this. Same. Okay, there's a method called validate, you can see. Same thing I'll do for, I can have a single one actually to perform both the jobs. So appointment property validator, I will call this as appointment model validator. To tell Shantanu is not allowed in Friday, I want the model validator. I have two things now. Is that clear? Okay. So this is absolutely neat, clean and crisp. So far, so fine. Chale, what are the validations at the property level you have here? Property level, the client name should not be empty. The date has to be the future date. Terms has to be accepted. I'll copy that as it is and feed for you. Here we are. And it is app date or something. So here I'm telling it's a member name is app date. And this is coming from the container. So enter future date. Date. It is coming from container. Just for you to know, it's coming from container. Right, gentlemen? So it is coming from where? It's coming from property validator. Maybe I can feed this. This is too big, right? Right, gentlemen? Okay. Now, what is it I'm trying to do here is, I got this as container. So what do you mean by container here? Means this property client name is contained inside appointment. Date is contained inside appointment. Right, gentlemen? Update. Terms accepted. So this appointment is a container for those properties. So when this appointment acts as a container, okay, at that time I want to use these. If the same appointment acts as a model, then I want to use the other one. You got it right? Did you all understand this, gentlemen? Okay, gentlemen? Model. So if this is the object, then I'm getting it from metadata model. Okay. So if it is a container, I'm actually, okay. So there's a container, what we are bringing here in the validate. Okay. So I'm getting this. Okay. So container means I'm just getting it here, guys, directly from here. container. I'm just converting. It's a container means this will work. Okay. And if it is model, I'm not using the container. I'm just getting it from the base class metadata model. Okay, where I'm just going to do this job. That's all. You're there? Okay, now the last step. See, I'm doing all the property validators in the place where I have the container. The other one, I'm doing the model level validator. Now we have to bind this. We have to stitch this with your application. So I have a tag value provider. Can I move ahead if you all permit? If not, also we'll move ahead. We don't have time. Yeah, gentlemen. So we have model validation provider. So here we have DAC value provider. Okay. So I'll give the same name, model validator provider. I'll call it as DAC validator provider. All the validations we're actually giving it from here. So let us implement what is required for us, implement the abstract class, and this is what we find. Right, gentlemen? So that should be fine. And I'm just grabbing this, using this to begin with. Enumerable of empty. That's helping me. So we need a list of validators. Can I move? List of validators. Okay, so anyhow, we can have an array also. That's what we are sending here. Just see if it is container type, what to use. If it is model type, what to use. I have two types of validators. Is that clear? See, you can see here metadata.container type, metadata.model type. Okay, so what to return, you people can just see there. You all are getting it, what I'm trying to tell? See, if metadata dot container type is equal to type of appointment. That means there is a property. If container type is equal to type of appointment, I'm telling return. What is the type of return? Model validators array. Will this work? So I'm telling return. I'll check. Or does it demand? It is model validator. I thought of giving it as it is. Appointment property validator is a model validator, right? Which is going to take your metadata and the controller context. Is that fine? We are receiving these two. That's what I'm just doing here. Metadata and the context I'm just sending. This is absolutely fine. Else if, what is it you want? Metadata dot model type. Wow, that's a great help. I want something similar to this. But this time I want appointment model validator. Done, guys? See, if it is property, I'm telling you use property validator. If it is model, use model validator or else nothing. Okay? That's all, gentlemen. Everything is ready for you. Now the last step is view solution explorer. Go to global.asax and I have to register the provider now. Okay, you can see I'm just doing the provider addition here. Okay, model validators.providers.add and you're adding your model validator.providers. Model validators, right? Model validator providers. Dot providers dot add. What is that you want to add? I forgot the name. We gave DAC something, right? It is DAC validator provider, right? DAC validator provider. Yeah, that's absolutely fine. That's all, gentlemen. Excuse me. Now just build it. And I'm taking pass date. What is happening? Excuse me. One minute, please. I have a doubt. It's just running on this. Excuse me. So it was going there. Okay, please enter your name. Everything is going here. So we'll take Shantanu. We'll take the future Friday. We'll accept the terms. Shantanu cannot book on a Friday. So we'll take Shantanu 1. He can book. Understood, right? It's coming from the containers. You all saw that? Property validators. Right, gentlemen? I'm getting, just give me 1 second. I think I made a blunder here. You're telling the member name, right? Okay, guys, here we're telling the name of the member. Okay, let it be. So there's no property which is coming. But you saw that, right? The output of the program. So there is a model value validation provider. We are doing at model validation provider. Oh, okay. Number 6, client side validation. Recording, I'll stop.